for joining me one more time. It's Ziki and I'm back again with more stories for you, my friends. Now, earlier on, I shared with you a live streaming of a media briefing that was done by the Minister of Employment and Labor in South Africa, where they were giving out the draft that they want people to debate on and to deliberate and for public policy, right? That is the National Labor Migration Policy. Yes, they said everybody is free to go and check it out. It is going to be open for 90 days for people to go and check it and give their comments. And it is very important sometimes to take part in this thing so that you know what policies are going to be affecting you in the future. Now, seeing that the video was a little bit long, I knew that some of you, my friends, you might not have the chance to listen to everything. So I decided to summarize it for you. Now, the most interesting thing that I picked up about this was them talking about Operation Dudula, talking about the trucking industry, and also talking about company visitations. Now, on the issue of Operation Dudula, the minister said, well, they don't condone violence, okay? They don't condone violence against foreigners. There are some ways how these issues are dealt with, and it's not just everyone who just wakes up and goes to someone's house and start to harass people in the streets. No, there are ways of how these things are handled. Let's just listen to what the minister said.
As the Minister of Labour, what is your response to all of these pleas? Thank you.
Dudula. I just want to urge South Africans not to engage in, no matter what their feeling is, in relation to these issues. They have the right to protest, but not to engage in illegal activities and even violence. So we can't condone what they are doing and getting into the areas and forcing their way through. It's not acceptable. But remember that the JPS cluster is handling this particular matter because once it becomes the way it is, it doesn't become just a labor issue. It goes beyond that. So they are dealing with this particular matter.
Okay, so we also know that, this issue of Operation Dudula has been, a very, very controversial issue that has been going on in South Africa for a long time. We have seen how foreigners were living in fear and everything that was going on there. Right now, the next issue, again, they spoke about, the trucking industry, where, again, labor organizations that are involved in the trucking industry in South Africa, they're saying, well, they want 0% foreigners working in the trucking industry because they say trucking jobs, they are not critical skills, so those jobs should be left for locals, not for foreigners to come and drive our trucks. But then the minister said, hey, we have international laws that also govern us. You cannot just come and say to someone, we don't want you to be driving our trucks from here. What about those people who have been given long contracts? What are they going to do? Everything has protocols and laws. Again, let's listen to hear what the minister said regarding the trucking industry.
All the way we've been engaging with the truck drivers, Sam, you will confirm, would have an average of 2 meetings per month with the truck drivers and engaging them on this process we're talking about. As late as last week, I was speaking to the General Secretary about the release of the document today. And he welcomed that. They are looking forward to making input into this particular document as part of the public comment. Sometimes we are shocked about their tactics after we've been into several meetings with them. Because what we are not going to do is to do things arbitrary. We will have to follow the legal processes, and this is a process which we are following. We hear that they talk about 0% of foreign drivers because they are not a critical skill. But there's a reality here. There are people who were employed long ago. What are you going to do with those people? who have contracts, who have rights. But there are also people who are legal in this country, who might be refugees. And according to the international obligations, the refugees have a right to be able to do something for their living, including looking for work, as long as it's done in a legal way. So what we're not going to accept is the disruption of the economy when people have been given the platforms to deal with the issues. And I must raise this, maybe Mr. Mkalipe would like to talk to it. These unions of the truck drivers, we've been trying in the various forums to persuade them to register their membership, to register as unions, so that they can come to the bargaining table. We've gone out of our way to persuade the bargaining chamber to make certain concessions for them to be able to act with the other organized unions who are in the bargaining chamber. But they've refused. They said they are representing the employed and the unemployed, therefore they are not a trade union. Then we ask them, how are you going to negotiate the conditions of service for your own members? So we sit in forums, we agree on the way forward, and sometimes they go out and become disruptive. We're not very sure what their agenda is. But we still say people have the right to demonstrate, to raise their feelings, but not in violence. We will continue engaging them. We are expecting them that they will make an input to this process as we are finalizing the issue of the quotas. And I must put it very clearly. In terms of the law, we can't ban the employment of the foreign nationals. It will not allow us. This constitution of this country will not allow us to do. We can limit it and control it. That's what we are trying to do.
Okay, so finally, the minister also spoke about the company visitations. We saw Julius Malema and some other organizations visiting companies where they said they wanted to check how many locals are employed there and how many foreigners are there, because they say, well, we want, foreign locals to be employed more. So the minister also touched on that, saying that those things should be done correctly.
On the issue of the illegal inspections, I've been very clear. There are certain protocols which you have to follow when you do inspections, including our own officials. You don't just rock up in a workplace and say, I've come to do an inspection. You give a notice on the issues which you will be looking for, and you allow the employer to prepare the necessary documentation which you will be needing when you come to that particular workplace. In fact, for the political parties to do that, it's disruptive. Rocking up in a workplace, disrupting the production, I think it's irresponsible. What we expect is that the politicians should be the first to respect the law. We have the law in this country, how inspection has to be conducted. So even us, as the body with those powers, we have to follow the law and give the necessary notices. We go for once, we make follow-ups if we've made recommendations and see if they've been implemented. But there is one reality that when people want to whip emotions for political gain, they start these irresponsible acts. That's what informs them. It's populism. So such populist actions have no place in the country. Thank you.
Okay, so those are some of the things that I just wanted to share with you. But if you want to learn more about what the minister said, you can watch the replay of the live streaming that I gave you. But here I just wanted to summarize for you because I knew that some of you may not be able to watch the longer video, right? So he spoke about the Operation Dudula. He spoke about, the truck drivers issues. He also spoke about company visitations. Right now, let's just go and check the comments that were given by the people during this live stream. Some people said, this is from Susan. Susan said, there are a lot of South Africans not working. Why not get our South Africans to work first? Please think of putting South Africans first. And this person called Karen said, let us have a look of that labor migration policy. We don't trust this minister. He is busy saying mouth-watering things about foreigners here. Okay, put South Africa first policy, 98% South African labor force, and then 2% foreign nationals or contractual agreements. This is a suggestion from someone. And then let's move on. Someone wrote here, do foreigner shops contribute to the tax revenue of this country? Even the illegally employed foreigners, how much illegal goods come into the country? Someone was asking. Another person said, you should be fired with immediate effect. I don't know why the minister should be fired with immediate effect, okay? And then another person here wrote, we are very disappointed about this ruling party, but come 2024, die pop sound dance. I don't know what that means. And this person said, only by addressing the root causes of migration can we break the cycle of desperation, provide hope for families who clearly would prefer to stay in their countries, and provide a better future for their children. Drafting policies will not help anything. Okay. And I understand what they're talking about, that, we need to address the root causes to why Zimbabweans are going to South Africa, why Nigerians are going to South Africa. Until those issues are addressed, we're still going to be having problems of foreigners flocking into different countries. Reasonable? Now let's move on. This person said, it's unreasonable if you say you want 0% foreign drivers. Where will local drivers drive to? Will they not cross the borders of South Africa? Food for thought. Yes, this issue was also discussed at one time. They say they don't want to have any foreign truck drivers in South Africa, but they're saying, well, still South African drivers will have to drive past Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Zambia. So how do they intend to do that? And yet they're saying they don't even want any foreigners in their country. Don't they see that they might create problems for themselves, even in their own trucking industries, when they need to transport goods into other people's countries? They said, it's food for thought. All right, let's move on. Another person said, does a job get stolen? Educate the people first that jobs do not get stolen. Do jobs get stolen? Please help me to answer that, all right? Anyway, let's move on again. And this person said, your labor officials go and collect monthly bribes. Hence, you don't have the correct immigrants in place of work. Another one said, let's make this one our last one, okay? They just talk about African foreigners. What about the European ones? Who is here under the radar too, okay? And someone said, we will not agree with the release Home Affairs audit now. Okay, someone said, SA needs to be developed for South Africans only, okay, before we can talk about migration. Okay, someone says, too many foreigners with the fraudulent visas in South Africa. We don't need these endless policies. The laws are in place and they are very clear, with corrupt intercompany transfer visas to companies that don't exist. Okay, so many things are being said here, but anyway, my friends, this is all I wanted to share with you. Let me know what you think about this, and I am urging you, my friends, that take this opportunity to look at these documents, especially these ones, the policies, because they affect us. We all are moving around looking for jobs. So whether you're South African, whether you're a foreigner, take your time to go and check out this document by the Ministry of Employment and Labor so that you see how we are going to be affected. And come back again, please subscribe.